Welcome to a bonus Halloween Minisode something. I'm Hank. With me today is technical difficulties.
Wow. Never been so accurately called out. Look, it's not my fault. I didn't touch the keyboard. I didn't touch shit. We may or may not have lost our first episode in like 200 episodes.
True. It finally happened.
We were watching a film. It was fucking great. It was a top tier film. And afterwards, Hank did the outro. We agreed it was a good film. I closed my window and Audacity was like, yo, why did you recorded 14 minutes of audio and then just hit stop? And I'm like, I did not do that, but there it is.
Mm-hmm. So if you want just my track, maybe I'll give it to you.
14 minutes of me.
I have to ask Ben for 14 minutes of him.
Yeah. That Patreon subscribers only. Top subscribers. $100 a month tier.
So yeah, we're talking about 1972's 1972, right? Yeah. 1972's Horror Express.
God, what a good film.
Starring Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and featuring Terry Savalas. Yeah. It's a good time. There was a frozen dude.
Yeah, like a missing link ape man sort of creature.
Mm-hmm. And Christopher Lee and his mustache have found.
Hell yeah. They excavate him. He lies and tells everybody it's a fossil. A priest is like, that's no fossil, that's fucking Satan. Look, the chalk doesn't work on this crate when I try to draw a cross.
Uh-huh.
That's the only answer we didn't get.
He tried to. There's no pressure. He was like drawing on a fucking mat.
No, I mean, like, well, I don't know, man. If we're taking it at face value,
you're true. They do explain literally like everything else. At least gets
pretty
like,
face value, unless we're supposed to understand that like the others like him are fallen angels, and he's actually like Lucifer. It's a cool take. Don't get me wrong. That'd be a cool direction to have taken it in.
Except like that he doesn't want to absorb the monster. Doesn't want to absorb the priest because the priest doesn't know anything.
Well, I mean, if you were actually a fallen angel and you saw all of these people fucking up what actually went down, you would think they're
fanboys. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Fanboys. Yeah. People reading the Bible and being like, "This is my story." Stay the fuck away from me and my family.
Never. Do not talk to me or my son. Do not talk to me or my holy father.
Yeah, so it turns out the thing is not just a fossil, and it
someone tries. Well, first we see someone try to pick the lock and sneak in, and then that person ends up dead.
Yeah, with like their eyes white like a boiled fish. Blood.
That is how it's explained later. Yes.
Well, it's a good analogy. It's a good analogy.
Mm-hmm. And then it gets put on the train. Peter Cushing is on the train also with Christopher Lee, and they're like, they kind of know each other, but they don't like each other, and they end up in the same train car because it's hilarious. Peter Cushing bribes the dude to get on the train, and then Christopher Lee's like, that's fucking corruption. And his strategy is to knock all the shit off the dude's table and fucking threaten him. It's like, because I'm British. Fucking.
It's so good.
British humor. British or terrible humor. Yes. Peter Cushing bribes the like coach. I forget what his role is. The dude in the back of the train that takes the baggage boy. Yeah. He bribes him to look in the box, and then he whistles, and then the monster picks the lock of the cage it's in, breaks out, and kills that guy, and then the monster whistles. So we're like,
he absorbs all the knowledge.
Now.
He has the knowledge, skills, and abilities of a baggage boy.
Finally. Which is apparently whistling.
It's literally just whistling.
But I mean, I guess he also like now knows about everyone on the train. I feel like that's the intel he's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got this like red eye that he stares.
And
of
of course
with.
they find the body, and they're all like, "Was it really a fossil though?" It's like, well, it was frozen.
Christopher Lee was like, it was definitely really old. It was not alive. I know it growled when we put it on the train.
Yeah, like it
wasn't alive.
He was being so fucking secret. Like somebody on this 3-passenger car train was gonna take his discovery and like go to the press with it first.
Scoop him. Like Peter Cushing was definitely trying to scoop him.
Okay, well that's your rival, I guess. Could have maybe told other people like what you're bringing on the. I mean, I guess bet a film is 1972 and then set in 1906. They didn't give a fuck. Yeah, I mean now, you sneeze on a plane, you're suspect number one, or any form of transit really. But back in the day, you could just like, oh, this is my trained grizzly bear. Yeah, trust me, he's. Don't worry about it. Oh, okay, cool.
Don't worry about it. That priest, the crazy priest that tries to draw a chalk on the train, he's on the train too. He's
a hired priest for like a count and countess in Russia to keep their
the count who knows the formula for steel.
But it's like super strong steel.
I think it's just steel.
No, it's super steel because he said it's harder than diamond. And it like strengthens as it heats.
Yeah, steel.
No, they have normal. They're on a train. They already have normal steel.
It's just steel. Don't worry about it.
I mean, clearly it's just steel. In fact, I think it might even just be a prop. Like they were in a film. Good height.
Like we were in a film or something. Yeah. We get good shots of the monster's hand as he's like sneaking around on the train.
Just constant, just back to back shots of his arm doing stuff.
He murders some guards that are looking for him.
Yeah,
and then the big thing is like they get him in a confrontation, and the police inspector that's on the train like shoots him a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And the monster dies. GG. We did it, boys. We did. Also, they crack open the skulls of people the monsters killed. Peter Cushing cuts open their heads, and then their brains smooth as a baby's bottom.
Yep. Gave it a little pap. So good. Smooth as a baby's bottom. Pap.
He's stolen their wrinkles.
Yeah, because memories and knowledge are carved into your brain. Also, the fact that he's a doctor of archaeology or whatever doing.
Well, I don't know what Peter Cushing's a doctor in, but then they're like, Christopher Lee gets in on the autopsies, and he's definitely like an archaeologist.
I mean, again, back in the day, doctor was a fucking doctor. You could do anything.
Maybe he's a biologist too.
Whatever, it's all the same.
Because he is like into missing link shit, so maybe like he's into evolution, so
yeah, he was like trying to prove evolution was real.
Yeah, with the missing link, the guy in the ice who has the psychic powers. So then they start immediately concealing the police inspector's hand. So he's the ape.
Yeah.
He's the monster now.
Yeah, that's like shot one. Well, because the monster is like
immediately.
Him. The monster is kind of killing him, and then he pops him, but his eyes are all like liver diseased. And
he has a little nosebleed.
Yeah, but then he wakes up.
Just a little bit of face bleeding.
Yeah, that's what orifices are for.
Yeah, like the next shot of that dude, he's like hiding his arm.
Yeah.
After that scene. And you're like, oh, okay. I've seen movies. I put it together.
Yeah.
He's the monster now, and he's doesn't let anyone to get off the train, and he kills the fucking telegram dude that's on the train.
Just yeets his corpse out the window, yeah. He does that, but he leaves the crumpled telegram and window.
He does leave the crumpled telegram on the desk for Christopher Lee to find later. Not like bearing the evidence, but not all the evidence.
Yeah, so then he's basically like
hyper
working his way to. I mean, not kind of more of a horizontal evolution, but he finds out the engineer knows stuff, so he slurps the engineer's knowledge.
Well, he goes to the engineer, and he's like, "Do you know about fucking gravity? Do you know how to beat gravity? I need to know how to beat gravity." Like, why would you need to know that? I mean, I know someone. There's like this guy who could do it. Do you know him? Oh yeah, he was like my teacher. He was like a father to me. Okay. They autopsy the monster's eyeball, and they put it under a microscope.
Yeah, they get like some of the
blood,
liquid
and
from it
in the blood there's a image of the inspector like shooting him. And then they just keep watching this eyeball as more images, like the dinosaurs, pour over it until they get to, hey, look, it's the Earth from space.
From space, yeah.
And they show it to the priest, and the preacher's like,
it's
the eye of well, he's like, it's the eye of God, and then he's like, where did it come from? You're like, it came from the monster. He's like, oh, it's the eye of Satan.
And then he immediately switches. Fair weathered fan.
Yeah, he's immediately like, oh, I guess I'm all into Satan now.
I'll serve you. Please take pity on me.
Yeah,
the monster is
like,
the
eye back to the monster.
I don't need to take pity.
Fucking need this eye. What are you doing? He like
just
burns it.
Well, I think it's like he just wants to burn the evidence. I thought.
Yeah.
But then he's like, the priest is like, have pity on me, and the monster's like, you're fucking useless. Like, don't worry.
You're a moron.
Your brain's already smooth, bud.
You don't know anything. Get out of here. I'm from space.
Yeah.
I just want to get back to space.
Yeah, no, it's a tragic story, really. He just wants to go back.
He's E.T., man.
He had all those
just
fucking
like
friends.
E.T. It's if E.T., but what if they fucking derailed that bike and E.T. died in an explosion? A bike crash. Elliot got off, though. Elliot popped the escape hatch on the bicycle.
Well, I mean, it's basically E.T.'s in the basket, and Elliot just rides it like toward a cliff, and then at the last moment, like shoves the bike forward while he hops off.
He just lets the basket. He unhatches it, and it flies forward, and he just rolls to the edge
gently. Yeah,
gently,
as if he weren't without breaking.
Without breaking. Mm-hmm. That's basically how this movie ends. But before that, we get Terry Savalas,
Captain Kazan.
Playing Captain Kazan, boards the train when they make a little stop. And like him and his like army of troops enter the train and like take it over, like because he's gonna find the murderer. It's like, oh, and he's being rude to the passengers. Like, oh, we'll have you sent to Siberia. He's like, I'm in Siberia.
I also like how then at the end when they're saying they got to stop the train in Moscow, right? Or yeah, that's like
before it gets to Moscow.
That's like a 3-day train ride. Oh, is it just before it gets to Moscow at all?
I think.
I thought it was like at. I don't know.
I don't think it was at.
Okay.
Moscow.
I probably misheard.
Snow everywhere.
Yeah, because that's. Yeah. Man, he was great though. He whipped the priest. The priest submitted immediately. He took like 3 whips.
And then he figures out, like, why is that priest, like, trying to protect you? To the police inspectors. And also, there's a part earlier where they're like, it's the eyes. So you have to inspect everyone's eyes. So we literally get shots of a magnifying glass in front of everybody's eyeball.
Like the super stereotypical shot.
Yeah, and they do the police inspector last, but they don't see anything even when they do his eyes. And because it turns out his eyes are only magic red in the dark.
I love how they're like, we need to inspect his eyes in the dark, and it's like, you don't need to fucking inspect them, dude. They're literally glowing red. Like Rudolph.
Yeah, like a turning point of the movie. Christopher Lee turns off the lights off and on.
He flicks the switch on and off, yeah, and his eyes are just glowing.
It reveals, but also he pulls his hand out of his pocket because he's got an ape hand now.
Yeah,
I don't know why his hands turns into an ape hand. I don't think that's explained.
Yeah, it's
for this energy alien that possesses people. I don't know about that one.
Yeah. They needed they wanted a visual cue thing, but like, I don't know. I thought he was going to turn into like an ape, like all of him.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in there long enough. Eventually.
I guess.
He's sucking out all the evolved juices from the body and it just evolves into apeness.
Yeah.
I don't know. No prize.
I mean, the movie was great though.
Movie is.
It was a very good time.
Yeah. Then he the priest convinces the monster to take his body.
Yeah.
We got it. Does
we
and
got
then it's like, what a moron.
We got a fat answer dump. Because there are people.
So he murders like all the military dudes on the train. Kills all of them. But then Christopher Lee gets him cornered.
It was Christopher Lee like both times, right? There were like 2 answer dumps, and I think it was him each time. I forget if one was Peter Cushing.
No, it was Christopher Lee.
Okay.
Peter Cushing. As soon as Peter Cushing gives Christopher Lee his gun, he's basically done.
just fucks off.
He has nothing else to do. He goes to the back of the train to like be ready to unhook to do something as soon as Christopher Lee gets there.
Yeah. No, that was great. Love answers. Love a good answer. This film gave them pretty straightforward.
Like, who are you? Oh, I'm an alien from space, and I was left behind. I came here with lots of people, and they all left me behind. It was a mistake. I'm trying to get off this planet.
It was so clear cut, though. They didn't make the audience work for it. I loved it. Who are you? I'm an alien. Why are you here? They left me behind. What are you doing? I've been living in different life forms since amoeba and protozoan and shit. And now I'm here. Oh, it was so good.
Get off the earth.
It was so fucking good.
And then it turns out he can resurrect the people he's killed as zombies. I guess except the people. Oh, yeah. When they like opened up the brains of those early corpses, that meant he couldn't resurrect them. That's why he so we get these scenes of him going to those bodies and like poking at their heads and like lifting off their removed skull caps.
Yeah.
So then he has a zombie army, and Christopher Lee just runs away.
Yeah, they
gets to the back of the train, and they unhook the back of the train, and then the telegram comes in to say to derail the train, and they're like, that'll kill everyone on board. Should we do it? What if it's war?
Maybe it's war.
Well, maybe it's war. And they derail the train. And it goes off a cliff.
They captured some Russian essence. Maybe it's war. Boom. Yeah, and there's so much shit going on. You'd think, wow, such a big train. You would be incorrect.
There's like 4 passenger cars, 3 passenger cars, a dining car, And one of those passenger cars, it belongs to the Count and Countess, who have like a piano and a full room.
Yeah. But there's also enough room for like the telegraph office.
And the entire all the passengers can basically fit in the back butt of the train where all the cargo is.
Just inefficient as shit.
Yeah.
Such a weird choice, because like I don't even know. Just weird.
Look, that's the train they had to film.
That's the train they had to film, but like Trans-Siberian Express is fucking. You don't take a fucking 4-car train across the entirety of fucking Russia. It's like going from one just to Russia. They were going from China. That's like,
look,
I think it's like an 8-day trip.
They said they were out of tickets.
Yeah, because they're only selling like 4. After all the staff, soldiers, cooks, and the countess and shit, like, I have 4 left over.
We didn't even see where they cook.
Probably
there was no room for them to cook.
I don't fucking know.
They cook on that little furnace in the back.
I was gonna say, yeah, the baggage car.
There's a little furnace in it where they do all the fucking autopsies.
Yeah.
They were there to perform multiple medical procedures.
It was a long time though, because at one point, I pointed out like the only person on this train who's just like going about their shit is the conductor, or the driver. And then at the very end, we see the priest had slurped him as well. But up until that point, like he was just living his life.
True. It's just a really entertaining movie, and it's only 90 minutes.
Yeah, no, it clips right along.
It does a really good job of like mixing it up, right? As like, yeah, we've done this thing. Like we've done the monster killing people. All right, now the monster's dead, and he's taken over this other guy. This guy's kind of stuck. Let's introduce a whole new ridiculous character.
Yeah. Well,
and even.
There's like a couple of scenes that are way too long, but they're fucking hilarious because of it.
Yeah.
So, no, it feels good the whole way through.
There's a dude, the engineer dude is always playing chess by himself, and then by the end, the woman sitting across from him is just passed out.
Oh my god, yeah, she's supposed to be asleep, but she definitely just looks like a corpse.
I mean, she's in the room when he gets murdered and doesn't notice.
Fuck yeah.
Just out like a log.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I highly recommend.
Yeah. Just a good time. Sorry we lost that commentary. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
We were having a good time.
We were, yeah. It was fun. I mean, as I said, like, you know, at least the movie
when
was
they
good.
saw the shit in that eyeball.
Oh god,
under the microscope.
Fucking,
dying,
dying, absolutely dead. And it's like wavy too. Like it's not just.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so funny. Oh, it was perfect. And they cut back and there's a fucking brontosaurus there. But it's just like the fuck, because it's a drawing, because you don't have a picture of a goddamn dinosaur, so
it's like, yeah, it's just a drawing of a brontosaurus and a pterodactyl. Fuck.
God, it was so good. Great movie.
Yeah. Great movie. saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com, saltcirclepod on Twitter. Maybe we won't lose another episode.
I mean, this one seems to be like it's actively recording still, so that's a good sign.
That's a good sign. I like our odds.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.